The school governing body at Tholimfundo Primary School in Soweto say they're not prepared to wait another year for classrooms there to be built. The department has failed to complete building the school after construction began over 20 years ago. So the SGB at that school is now calling for the review of decisions taken at a meeting last week that was called by the South African Human Rights Commission. Now, let's get you both sides of the story. Gauteng Provincial Manager at the Human Rights Commission is Buang Jones. Also joining this discussion is Tholimfundo SGB Chair Joseph Mathibedi, who is also joining us via our telephone line, it appears. To both our guests, thanks very much indeed for your time. It's lovely to have you on the program. If I can begin with you, Joseph, I mean, this meeting, I understand, took place, it must have been last week or so. Part of what you're saying is that the SGB and parents didn't get enough time to air their views. What happened?
Brother, you know, I'd like to greet you on this first. When we stood in that meeting, we were not given ample time to raise our views. And whenever the GDE were given a chance to speak, they spoke at length. And when they said some things, we were not even given a chance to question what they are saying, you know, and add our views on what they are saying. Because what was being said in that meeting is not linked to us as Tholimfundo. It has always been happening. Ample times they come to us, they come to us, give us dates, and they give us prolonged dates. See, another crime is that the GDE is making this as it does when it's actually the HMC that promotes them to the meeting. Now, the GDE doesn't even want to speak to us anymore. They say we must refer everything else to the GDE, to the HRC.
All right. Buang Jones, if you're able to hear us, I mean, the allegation here is that you're not necessarily listening to both sides of the story fairly. Not a great start, considering the fact that if there's going to be a way forward, you need to get buy-in from both sides at the very start.
Well, it is rather sad that that is the sentiment from the SGB. The South African Human Rights Commission is an impartial body. We are an intermediary institution between people on the one hand and government on the other hand. And we, upon receipt of this complaint, I then requested the legal team from the commission to visit the school in 2021. And again, last week, we decided to visit the school together with the department in order to understand the full extent of the challenges at the school. We felt it was important to also invite the SGB to be part of this inspection. This was the meeting with the South African Human Rights Commission. We have received the complaint from the parents at the school. All the issues that they have raised with the commission have been raised with the department through a letter that was transmitted to the head of department. There were a number of commitments that were made, and as we speak, the department has undertaken to appoint a project management company under the auspices of DSTV to ensure that there is construction at the school, and this will happen next year. But in the interim, we have requested the department to ensure that they provide extra mobile classrooms, to ensure that there is proper ventilation in all the classrooms, to also provide additional ablution facilities at the school so that teaching and learning can take place.
Yeah.
And what we cannot do as the commission is to issue directives that will go against the supply chain regulations of the department. Tender processes have to be followed, project management steps have to be followed to the latter, so that everything is above board, even when the work of the department is audited, and we will not undermine the rule of law in the execution of our duties as the South African Human Rights Commission. And we are rather very disappointed with how the SGB has acted. In fact, even at the same meeting, they were quite disruptive, which was very unfortunate because they did not understand that the meeting was the meeting of the commission to hear from the department, to also hear from them, to understand what is going on, and to play a facilitative role with a view to finding lasting solutions.
Yeah. If I can come in there, Buang, sorry to interrupt you there.
Conditions.
Yeah, apologies.
Government, when you know that supply chain processes take time.
I'm just watching the time. Apologies for interrupting you. I hear that, and of course, any kind of behavior that leads to the collapse of this kind of meeting shouldn't be accepted. But I don't hear you, at the very least, sympathizing with these parents who've had to wait for more than 2 decades to get to a point where there's any kind of interaction with government and to get to a point where the construction at the school is being completed. Surely there needs to be something said about accountability, even from the Human Rights Commission, about that aspect of what's going on here.
And this was done. We have registered our concerns with the department. We have addressed the letter to the head of department. We are going to issue directives to the department in terms of what should happen in the interim. It is regrettable that 20 years later, the second phase of the school has not even started. The first phase of the school was completed a while back, and the department has, in many respects, failed to ensure that they fulfill their constitutional obligations. And these are some of the issues that we are attending to. The investigation is ongoing. We cannot provide running commentary. And we will engage with the SGB. We will continue to engage with the department. But the department has already outlined the process that will be followed. And this information will be shared with the parents of the school and with the school governing body and the teaching personnel.
Joseph, I'm hearing more commitments. I imagine you've heard of commitments for years now, but it appears the Human Rights Commission is saying, look, our hands are equally tied. We can't really accelerate the building of the rest of the school, and it sounds to me you may have to wait a bit longer. Is that acceptable to you?
It's totally unacceptable, my brother. You see, in that meeting we had with the HRC and the GTE, when I say we were not given ample time, there are money started come out. And the document that we gave to the HRC, the document states the money that were given for the school to be built. There's 3.2 million rand that was used when on the initial stages, to do your geographic checks, all the things that need to be done prior to building. Now, we tried, when you think the meeting was disruptive, it was not disruptive, seriously. Voicing my concern that you're not giving us ample chance to speak, you're not giving us ample chance to ask a few questions. Hence, really, Mr. Buang felt as if the meeting was very disruptive. But this thing of waiting another year, it's been very too long. And then what has happened to all the money that is being provided? Every time we have been told, next year we are building a school, next year we are building a school. It's like listening to the same song now. We're listening to the same thing from the GTG. And whenever they make those promises, they never come to the party, my brother.
Yeah.
It's not new to me. I'll only be happy when I see the soil turning in the school and not in January, my brother. January is too far. We've been waiting for far too long. Thank you.
Right. Buang, I'll allow you to get the final bite of the cherry. Do you blame parents for being so disillusioned and for having a lack of trust in any kind of undertaking at this stage, given how long they've had to wait? And perhaps, as you respond to that question, get us a sense of what the way forward looks like, because at the very least, the future of the pupils that are involved here mustn't be compromised by the back and forth and the protracted disagreements.
Yeah. No, we do sympathize with the parents. We will continue to engage with the SGB to see how we can best ensure that the department is held accountable. The way forward is that we are going to give the department a period of 3 months within which to provide additional mobile classrooms, additional ablution facilities, and to ensure that the electrical connections at the school are fixed. And we will also share the plans that the department has to construct new classrooms, and this will be shared with the school governing body. I think the key thing is to ensure that we build trust between the department and the parents, and that all the commitments are fulfilled. And this is our commitment that we will share this information with the parents, and we will ensure that all the processes that we have agreed to with the department are implemented.
We've followed the story from the start and we'll continue doing that. For now, thanks very much indeed for both your time. Really do appreciate it. Joseph Mathibedi is the SGB chairperson at Tholimfundo Primary School. Buang Jones, Gauteng Provincial Manager at the Human Rights Commission. Once again, thanks very much indeed.